In today's video, we are going to be talking about missed flight connection compensation. This video is going to explore useful tips that will help you save costly changes, unexpected expenses, and more. So, make sure you stick around for that. When you've perfectly planned your itinerary, a missed connection can derail everything. You'll get to your destination much later than anticipated, maybe even paying for expenses you hadn't budgeted for. This doesn't have to set the tone for your trip, and if it happens, you may be eligible for additional compensation. Once you reach your final destination, you can file for additional compensation if you did not waive your rights. As long as the delay was the fault of the airline, then you can file for compensation under EC 261. While missed flight connections aren't specifically covered, they are if they result from a flight delay, cancellation, or involuntarily denied boarding. You couldn't make your connecting flight because of an issue with your main flight, so the law protects your rights. What flights are eligible? EC 261 only covers flights in Europe, but even within that, there are some exclusions. Your itinerary isn't the only thing that matters when it comes to filing a claim under EC 261 for your missed connection. There are other qualifying circumstances, like your issue was less than 3 years old, or some countries have different grace periods that you can file a claim. Your connecting flights were part of the same booking. They do not apply if you purchase each flight separately. You missed your connection because your flight was delayed, canceled, or overbooked. If you rebooked your connecting flight, you arrived at your final destination at least 3 hours or more late. How to tell if your connecting flights are part of the same reservation? You should have everything under the same reservation. When you check your email confirmation, you find all your travel details and itineraries listed in the same email. Most often, you'll be flying all your legs within the same airline, though there are sometimes exceptions to this rule. If you booked your own flight and you didn't personally seek out additional flights to get you to your final destination, then you should be in the clear. What missed connections are covered? EC 261 doesn't specifically call out missed connections in the regulation, but that doesn't mean they aren't covered. Instead, they qualify because they're the result of issues that are covered, namely flight delays, cancellations, and denied boarding. If you miss your connecting flight for any of these reasons, then you are eligible to file a claim. 3-hour delays. Typically, the length of your delay holds a lot of weight under EC 261. Your right to compensation starts kicking in at 3 hours, and that's also true of missed connection claims. However, the length that you're waiting for is a little less important. In this case, it's all about how long of a delay you face when it comes to getting to your final destination. Airline delays. Airlines have much more control than they'd like to let on, which is why EC 261 exists. It strives to hold airlines accountable for their poor practices that lead to costly inconveniences for passengers. The top 3 reasons people file a claim under EC 261 are: a delay that lasts at least 3 hours, causing your arrival at your destination to be late; canceled flights with less than 14 days' notice; involuntary denied boarding, most often due to overbooking. What compensation can I get? The amount of your compensation for your missed connection is similar to that of a flight delay. If your flight delay, that is, the delay to your final destination, is less than 3 hours, then you are not eligible to claim anything under EC 261. Once your flight starts to exceed 3 hours, even if it never arrived, you are eligible to claim flight compensation under EC 261. What missed connections are not covered? There are some circumstances under which your missed connection will not be covered, even if you file within the allotted time frame. These include extraordinary circumstances and personal reasons. To qualify for compensation under EC 261, the circumstances that cause the delay need to be within the airline's control. Personal reasons. Personal reasons are another way that you'll be disqualified from receiving compensation, so make sure to leave enough time to get through security and the airport to get to your gate in time. Additionally, it is your responsibility to bring all of your necessary documentation, including your identification, boarding pass, and more. Extraordinary circumstance. Extraordinary circumstances are anything that is out of the airline's control, though these are reviewed on a regular basis to ensure they still qualify. For example, if there is an airport strike, it will not qualify. However, if it is an airline strike, it will. What to do if I miss my connection? Missing your connecting flight can be frustrating, but there are some steps you can take to make it a little easier to get to your final destination while collecting the documentation that you need to file a claim later. Here are some steps that you can take to set yourself up for success. Work with the airline to get you on the next available flight to your final destination. If you check a bag, they will also ensure that it's waiting for you when you arrive. Keep receipts of any incidental expenses that you incurred as a result of the missed flight connection. This could be food, drink, personal items, hotels, and more. Whatever you paid out of pocket should be kept with your travel information. Put your boarding pass and other travel documentation in a safe spot. Take a picture of any boarding screens and ask the airline to give you in writing the reason you missed your connecting flight. Request meals, accommodation, and transport when applicable. If you're delayed over meal times, airlines are required to comp your food and refreshments during that meal. If your delay requires an overnight stay, they should provide you with accommodation. If it's off-site, they need to get you to and from your hotel. Let your loved ones know. If someone is expecting you, make sure they are aware of the change in plans so they don't worry. How to claim? You can file a claim yourself or work with a specialized company. To file a claim, you need to gather all your documentation and submit it to the airline. The more information you can gather, the better. That will make your case stronger. There are also specialized flight compensation companies that you can work with. These are staffed by flight law specialists who are well-versed in all aspects of EC 261. They will review your documentation and either accept or reject your case. Missed flight connections can mean extra compensation if you're traveling in Europe, so make sure to look into your rights to understand what you can claim. Depending on the circumstances of your delay following the missed connection, you could claim up to €600. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to know more about missed flight connection compensation, check the link in the description box below. That will take you to the euflightcompensation.com's webpage, where we have discussed this topic in more detail. Do you have any comments or questions? Make sure to drop them below and like this video if you found it useful. Till next time, thanks for watching.